There we go. Hello, everybody out there. If you're just joining us for the first time, my name is Jordan, also known as JMonster, as I'm very fond of saying. And today we're going to be playing a little bit of Silmarillion Total War, which is a mod that is currently in development for Medieval 2 Total War. I know a lot of people are probably real jazzed on the new DLC that's come out for Warhammer 2, which I haven't had a chance to play yet, but soon. Very soon. So I want to thank you for joining us today. Taking a little bit of time out of your day and joining us for some retro fun. Oof. Sorry, I'm just turning on my stream so I can look at chat and such. Hello, Pizza God. How's it going there, buddy? So we're just waiting for people to join the lobby. We're going to be trying to get, I think, a 4v4. We had a really good 4v4 going on yesterday on a new map that I've been working on. It's called the War-Torn Plains. It's a bit of a redux on Grassy Plains, which is a classic map I think a lot of people are very familiar with because it was present in Medieval 2 Vanilla, actually. It's a holdover from there. So we're going to be playing a little bit on that. Hopefully the map is as good as its predecessor. I use good very lightly. I'm not a big fan of Grassy Plains, so I decided to redo it, obviously for a reason, to make it a little bit more compatible with kind of what we're trying to do in Silmarillion Total War. So there's a lot of units that have terrain contextual bonuses, and the new faction, which I won't talk about too much because there'll be some videos coming out on that over the next little while, are really big into that. They've got a lot of versatility that comes from those terrain bonuses. So it didn't seem right to have a map that doesn't work with that kind of overarching approach to designing the mod and the multiplayer. So I've redone it. And instead of being the Grassy Plains, it's the War-Torn Plains. And it's pretty interesting. I've only had one game on it, being yesterday, but it seems like I put this big kind of like camp in the center. That seems to be the focal point of a lot of fighting that goes on. So hopefully we get another really good match today, because our one from yesterday was just, mwah! It was really good, and then it crashed, which is a tragedy. But you know that's how it is sometimes in Medieval 2. Weird. I'm trying to get some uploads in order, as I will be uploading a all-in-one to our ModDB today. I won't be able to do it right now, obviously, because I want to stream. But that will give you not the new factions here, not these shiny elves of the Falas, or later the Easterlings. But it will give you the tournament build that we played our most recent tournament on. And that's going to include 6 factions: House of Feanor, the Guarded Realm of Doriath, the Realm of Angband, House of Finarfin, the Elves of Assyrian, and of course the Dominion of Tolin Gaurath, Sauron's home base. So it shouldn't take us too long to rally the people that we need. I know we've got at least 3 or 4 more people confirmed to be coming in for sure. So we're going to give ourselves the necessary money. Hello, Giancarlo. How's it going today, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Oh, hello, kitty. Unfortunately, you guys won't get to see my cat today, as my webcam is in use elsewhere. But he's being real cute right now. It's a shame that I'm the only one who gets to enjoy it, but it'd be like that sometimes. There we go. We've got 4 people. Let's give them their funds so that they can make their army. Hopefully that works. Medieval 2 is an old girl. It likes to be a little bit finicky. Sometimes you'll put in your budget and then that budget will disappear or like revert to 0 or just not register of being punched at all. So oh yeah, I guess I should link my stream in places, eh? That's probably a good idea. Let's go ahead and do that now. Let's give me a few minutes here. I'll get my stream linked in a few different places. Let's see here. I don't suppose you guys can hear my music at all. I like to stream with music, just because I think it kind of makes the silence. Sometimes there's a little bit of silence when I'm talking or typing to people, and I think it makes it a little bit more bearable and just kind of sets the mood for the whole video. So if you guys can hear it, let me know. I rewatched our stream from yesterday, like parts of it, and I didn't hear anything coming through, but it says that it's coming through my OBS. It says it's being picked up. So I'd like to know if that's the case. There we go. Got it up in a few places. Should get a few people in. Hopefully some new people. People wanting to check in on the process of development for Silmarillion, which has been a lot of fun so far. And it seems like we're just missing one other person. Let's give everyone the appropriate amount of money, and then we can all build our army compositions. And I'll talk a little bit about, you know, what I'm building, why I'm building, and some of the new units as well. I'm playing Doriath for a reason, as they are getting a few additions to their mid-tier roster. Nothing that, like, fundamentally, I think, alters the balance of power within the Doriath roster. But there are a lot of, like, nice supporting units that will allow the high tiers, who are the real pride and joy, these Region tier units here, to do their job a little bit more and to be a little bit more available and flexible where and when Doriath needs it. So I think I have played with it a little bit, and I was really impressed with how well my mid-tiers did yesterday. I mean, eventually you can watch the stream for yourself and you'll see it, and I talk about it there as well. But we were fighting the Elves of Assyrian, who had a big ranged advantage over us, and we still managed to inflict some pretty serious losses on them, so it worked out quite nicely. And for the sacrificing my mid-tiers, I managed to save my bodyguard unit, and my high tiers were able to kind of win in the center, which wouldn't have been something that was possible with Doriath in our previous patches. They just didn't have the numbers and the flexibility that brings with it. So I'm pretty pleased with how well Doriath has turned out in the new faction. I think they're in the new faction, in the new patch. I think they're getting pretty well close to. Well, I hesitate to use the word perfect, but I'm gonna say it with the caveat that they're where I want them to be. They are perfect in my mind and where I envisioned the faction would go when I first put pen to paper 8 months ago. I would say that they're, in that sense, they are just about perfect. Yeah, the money is broken. It be like that sometimes. Yeah, see what I mean? Wow, it really hates me. I bet you I know exactly. Oh, no, I thought it would be Steward, but it is not. Oh, God, we gotta fight two Assyrian again. This is turning out to be like the exact same game we had yesterday. I think we had like two Assyrian, Angband and Tolan Gaurhoth versus two Feanor, Hassafinarfin, and Doriath, which was a good game. I think we were gonna win it. I think we were well poised to win it, but unfortunately, like I said, it crashed. So you'll never see it unless you watch the stream, I suppose. Alright, we're just waiting on one person, so let me see if I can't rustle up one of our other testers. And do we have everybody? No, I think we have another person on their way. Yes. So I did show off the Philathrum and talk about them a little bit yesterday, but it was mostly just visual stuff, just taking a look at what they look like. We will have some coverage of them, and actually some fairly detailed coverage being done by UMAD Commander, who's like a community content creator. I highly, highly recommend his channel. It's very, very good commentary, very professional, and very detail-oriented, which is great. And Scouts of Entertainment, who's another community caster, who will be covering the Philathrum. He'll have a battle that we did with them. It's not a super close battle, but it's a pretty good one, I think. There's a lot to enjoy about it. I played in that one, so I can assure you that it's a good game, worth watching. He's going to be covering a game with them, so that's pretty fun. So for the time being, we're just not going to play with the Philathrum. We're just going to give them the opportunity to get that content out there. Yeah. So you won't see them today, unfortunately. They are beautiful, though, so if you want to like take a look at the roster and see it in game, you can either watch the stream that I did yesterday. I just have to fast forward a little bit because I started with some map making. The other option... My music's a little bit loud. I'll turn that down a bit. The other option is that you can just go through our ModDB. We have an article on there that covers basically the entire faction. And there's plenty of pictures on there. So if you guys want to see the Philathrum and get acquainted with them visually, that's certainly something that you can do. 2 days' time, he says. UMAC Commander's in the chat with us today. So in 2 days' time, you'll be able to see a detailed and what I'm sure will be a very quality breakdown of the Philathrum. He's got all of my notes on the faction, and he's got the build. It's all there for him. So for the time being, we're just gonna wait. Secretariat says he's coming, so we do have an 8th person on their way, so we'll be able to get this battle started pretty shortly. But in the meantime, why don't I build my Doriath army? That'd be smart, eh? So let's take a look at who we're fighting. It's the same factions from yesterday, so I think I am going to be fighting. I'm going to be fighting Angband. Okay, so the deployment's a little bit different. So if I'm going to be fighting Angband, it's actually not going to alter my strategy a huge amount. So one of the new things about Doriath is that their high-tier axe units, the Warriors of Region and the Axe Guard of Region, both upgrade their attack for basically peanuts. I wanted to make it free, but it can't be free because the game engine doesn't allow it, and I didn't want to make it 1 because it just seems wrong. So a lot of the times, if you have money left over, it's usually a denomination of like 5. So each of these upgrades will cost 5, which saves actually a lot of money because normally those are 40. So if you do exactly what I'm gonna do here, which is bring as many of these units as you can, you end up saving like quite a lot of money. It's like 240 gold or something like that, which you can then use on some of your mid-tier units. So the Wardens of the Girdle have been reintroduced. Previously, they were a skirmisher unit and infantry unit second, so they were more skirmish-oriented. Their stats were pretty low, pretty abysmal. Now they're more infantry oriented. They're almost like a low tier shock infantry. They've got a pretty good charge bonus there. Charge bonus is 7 plus an attack of 10. They've got much less ammo. They went down from 14 ammunition to 5. But they're more numerous, and they hit harder in melee, and their melee skill has gone up a good deal as well. So they're a good unit to have, and I'm actually going to bring 2 of them. I will also bring 2 units of the Axemen of the Girdle, who are a new axe-throwing unit for Doriath. You can take a look at the stat breakdown there. They've got a little bit less melee skill. So they will take like hits in melee more often. Like their melee defense bonus won't save them as often. But they do have a shield, so they are going to be more resistant to arrows, which can certainly not be said for the Wardens of the Girdle. And their charge bonus is also a little teensy bit less, just because they don't have the second weapon that these guys will have. Also important are the Rangers of the Girdle, as this is really Doriath's only dedicated skirmishing unit. And if you're wondering why they're so small, and why there's a few units here that are like copies of other units, like what's the deal with that? Spear units here as well. We have a detachment system that we use in Silmarillion Total War. So if you look here at the price difference between the two, it's half. So you pay half cost for a unit, and you only get half the number. So it does give you a little bit of flexibility, and it will help you spend all of your money at the end of the turn, alongside like upgrades and things like that. So the only dedicated long-range skirmisher that Doriath has are the Rangers of the Girdle. They have poison arrows, which actually got buffed in the past patch that we're using, so they're a little bit more potent in that poison arrows will inflict a morale debuff in a 3-meter radius around where they hit, and it will inflict a -3 penalty to a unit. So it's not huge. A lot of our units have like pretty decent morale scores, and we have some very hefty custom morale buffing effects. This is actually the least of them right here, as Doriath doesn't have access to the really strong ones because of how high tier the roster is anyway. So it's not a deciding factor, but it can certainly help, especially in the late game when people start to get tired. Poison arrows can be a really nice thing to have kind of in the hole. Also going to bring some Spear Hosts to the Girdle. I'm going to bring 3 of them. Yes, I know it's broken. So a new person joined. Come on, give me a break here. There we go. Hopefully that actually takes. I was going to say that's weird, but I can't like afford my unit. Oh, wow. Ugh, it's so irritating. There we go. Plenty of money left over. So yeah, that's kind of the breakdown of like their mid-tier roster. One thing to note about the Rangers is that they're pretty garbage in melee. They have about the same stats in melee that the Wardens of the Girdle used to have. So you can kind of see like the difference there. But their shield does make them quite tough. Surprisingly tough. So they're limited numbers, but they do have a fair amount of staying power that you probably wouldn't expect from a light unit. So the shield really does make a difference there. I'm also going to bring a couple shield bearers. And what else do I want to bring? I will bring our bodyguard here, the Doriath and Mablung, which are the Fists of Mablung of the Heavy Hand, who wielded a mace. He was an important, well, not important narratively, but he was a renowned warrior of the Sindar of Doriath. He was like the captain of Thengol's capital city. And he was actually killed defending the treasury of Thengol and the Silmaril when the dwarves of Nogrod, and I think Belagost as well, sacked that city. So it's kind of like a hero unit, I guess. They have 2 HP, really, really strong. A lot of armor piercing. A lot of Doriath units do have access to like armor piercing and like good shock damage. That's kind of what Doriath does really well. And wow, we've actually ended up with the exact same team compositions. Oh my goodness. Is my opponent still playing Angband? Okay. Yeah, this is exactly what we had yesterday. This is going to be fun. It was a really nicely like balanced game. Let's see here. And we'll also bring some Mounted Company. One thing to note about them is that they're melee cavalry, so they don't have like a ton of charge. Their charge is actually quite low, just like 11 or so charge. But they're really good against cavalry, really good at fighting cavalry, and they've got high base damage, so they're not actually bad as like if you wanted to use them as mounted infantry, for example. Their skill is quite high because they are swordsmen, and they've got a decent amount of damage as well. So a fairly versatile unit, but it is certainly specialized for fighting cavalry. Also really good at running down archers. Low melee skill units, orcs will certainly fear these guys, etc., etc. They look stunning. I assume you mean the Philothrum, because I have certainly made a big deal about how good they look. But all of our factions look stunning, so I appreciate the compliment nonetheless. We have put a lot of work into this, and I think it shows. I think it really does show. I have a lot of like talented people on the team who are amazing at like making custom assets, whereas really I just like take things that I like and I like remix them and try to make them something different. That's not just the sum of their parts, but we do have some really talented people on the team. Son of the Dark Cloud, Taurion, Skyly are all fantastic at what they do. So yeah, we've come out of this with a lot of factions that are really like quality. Like we only really use like high quality stuff, and we only really make high quality stuff and put that onto our builds. So we have just a bunch of talented people. So I'm just really happy that they're willing to sign on for such a big project as this one is. So thank you very much. That's what I'm saying. People are probably waiting on me. Oh, Secretariat, that's fine. He was the last person to join. He's allowed to have extra time. I have no excuse, however. I'm just sitting here gapping away. Oof. Show yourself the door there, Lucas. That was terrible. There we go. Now we can get this started. So we're still in alpha, so we haven't replaced all of our quotes yet because that is a deceptively time-consuming and tedious task because it's all contained in this little text file, and it's just this one massive, intimidating list of things. So we are slowly replacing the quotes, but we do have the loading screens. That's, I assume that is Fingolfin off to face his doom at the gates of Angband by dueling Morgoth himself in single combat, which kind of stupid, but it's fine. The Noldor didn't need their High King or anything. Oh, well, the latency's not too bad. Last time it was very, very, very slow. It was almost, I think Lucas actually made the comment that it's basically a turn-based strategy game at that point, and honestly, he wasn't wrong. Okay, so last time I was all the way over here fighting in the woods alongside the House of Feanor. And I think I'm going to be directly across. Oh, this is an ugly combination that we have to fight. I'm not looking forward to this. At least I have Artorias over here. Artorias is a very good, reliable ally. But we're going to be facing off against an Angband and Osirian combination, which is going to be... I don't really know how well we're going to take that. So what I'm going to do is form a reserve corps here of my best units. And we're going to try and keep them a little bit farther back because I don't want to expose them too early after we've had a chance to eat up some of the ammunition from the Elves of Osirion. So what we'll do is we'll construct these units, construct like a barrier essentially out of our mid tiers. I'll put you over here. Get everyone out of the way. Oh, what are you doing over here? So we'll do this. Place them just far enough forward that we don't get a ton of like overshot into the spearmen. And let's see here. We'll also kind of layer it up a little bit. I'm a big fan of not necessarily defense in depth, but I like to make layers to my formations so that I can have the numbers necessary and the reserve troops needed to respond to enemy threats appropriately. We're going to put our general back here. Normally I would put him up here with the mid-tiers to buff them, but he's unshielded and the Elves of Osirion are just next door. So I think that that would get him shot to death very quickly. We're also going to stick some high tier spears up here. And we'll have our cavalry. What do we want to do with our cavalry? I'm not expecting a ton of cav from Angband. It's possible that he will have 1 or 2 units, but it might not be necessary to have both of them over there. I think it could be useful if I kept some maybe behind this hill here and sent them over to the aid of our allies. And then I can use this remaining unit in tandem with our... Oh, not what I wanted. With our detachment spears. And then together they can support each other and be a fairly mighty force to be reckoned with. And then this way, these guys have some defense for this side if that's at all needed. Alright. Well, that'll about do. Go Doriath! Yes, actually, Sin of the Dark Cloud was the person who made the Doriath faction models and did like all the texturing and stuff. So a big thank you to him for going through that effort, especially the shields. I'm really a big fan of these shields, and they do kind of give us the ability to distinguish between the more defensive units and like the light infantry and like some of the more like melee focused units, like the Axe Guard of Region here. So they actually have less shield value than the shield bearers. So it actually turned out really, really nicely. So a big thank you to Sin of the Dark Cloud for his work. Let's go ahead and get it started. I think it'll be a second before people get their stuff together. In the meantime, why don't we take a look at some of the features on this map. So as I said, this is a grassy plains kind of remake. So we've got this little centralized area here. And there's some forest tile in there that will allow you to hide units or to activate terrain bonuses for units that fight better in the woods. As you move into the center, it's like dirt and grass. And then up here, we've actually got a scrub terrain. So units with a scrub bonus will actually do quite well here. A lot of heavier infantry tend to have that, whereas the lighter guerrillas will do better. Marginally better, at least with an extra like +2 bonus on kind of the outskirts here. It also does give you a lot of abilities to like conceal the approach of, say, cavalry, for example, because the tree cover is quite thick. Over here, there's a little bit of a pathfinding issue, and then you can actually come through this wall, which, you know, oops. That will have to be fixed at some point whenever I get around to it, but I have bigger fish to fry for the moment. And you can actually go through this area here as well. That certainly is intended. So there are some natural choke points in here for the players on our side, and some nice little like defensive barriers. Like you can set up a unit of archers behind here and have them be relatively safe from frontal charges. But you are a little bit more limited. Ooh, no, we're going to start now. You are a bit more limited, whereas being on the outside here does offer you some more flexibility. And there's plenty of ways around these choke points that are very open and easily accessible and can't be super easily locked down. What do we have here? It looks like he's going to go to the aid of his allies, which we're not going to give him a chance to do. And oh, I see what they're going to do. They're going to all focus like heavily on the center. Oh, God. Ugh, I can't type. Yeah, I'll take care of these guys out here. We'll be able to fight in the plains, and I think do okay for ourselves. Where are... It's okay, these guys are kind of getting shot up a bit. That's fine. That's kind of what they're there to do. And all these sentries of Gellion. It's funny, I actually ended up fighting Finrod the last time, so this is kind of a rematch for us, which I'm actually really excited for. So if they want to line up like this, I'm happy to return fire. We'll be able to do a lot to the very lightly armored green elves. And I think... Oh, shit, I need to be careful there. We'll take our cavalry, but I think these guys and a detachment of axemen will do just fine. And we'll send them over there with Artorias as well. Have them move forwards. Same with these guys. And we actually did quite a fair amount of damage there to those horse archers. Now they've been driven back across the plains, but I'm not going to chase him this time. And what do they have kind of in the way here? Well, they've got Ravagers who are unshielded, but they are being protected. I think I don't mind expending some ammunition on these guys. The scouts of Gelion are going to be coming in too. Well, maybe we'll hold our fire for now with these. We'll have them fire at the scouts of Gelion instead. Where's my other cavalry unit? We'll bring them up here. Yeah, they're definitely moving to overwhelm the center, which is the play that I made last time, and it worked out pretty well for us. So I think that's a good idea. Let's see. Hopefully Sec does okay against the Steward of Dale with his very sneaky and slippery Assyrian army. And I want to... Oh, I see what's happening here. I think the rest of our units need to go in here too. We'll draw these guys back a bit. Oh, I actually don't want my axemen to throw at all. I'm fine if the spearmen want to use their javelins, though. We'll quickly deal with that incursion there. How are we doing? Not amazing. Scouts of Gelion. I don't think they seem to have too much in terms of support. These guys over here like this. Spear host doing well. I'll run these guys off the field real quick here. Won't take long. Turn off the ammo there. Bring some semblance of order back to our lines. Get these guys back into order. I'll send these guys out. That's fine. I'd rather them shoot at the horsemen than at my exposed axemen. Plus these guys have like 7 shield value or something, so they'll be just fine. Let's see here. I'll get these lads into a position where they can be in reserve. We'll get these guys far out of range of those Assyrian archers who can be so deadly for them. Uh-oh. I kind of lost track of these guys. I got them stuck on some hunters. I think they might break. They might. I might be able to save them if I pull them out soon. Yeah, I should be able to save them. That's a my bad kind of moment. Oh, you guys should all be running. Oh, they're having a bad time too. We'll have them all focus fire at least. Oh no! At least they didn't route through the stake, so I might get them back eventually. I'll focus fire on those scouts. Nice. Got some help there, which is fantastic. It's always good to have help, isn't it? Well, have the axemen target these guys down. That was a big play there. I'm a fan of that. Got some mounted company out here as well. Okay, so I did get these guys back. Well, let's bring them over this direction. We'll bring them back to the other side. How are things going in the center? So far, so good. See if there's any pushes or anything. No one really... Seems to be that we're waiting for something decisive to happen on the wings, which maybe we shouldn't be doing. Uh-oh. Those are guardians. That's not good. Come on. Come on, guys. Do your thing. Do the thing you're supposed to do. We'll charge here and we'll deal with these guys. And my remaining axemen of the girdle, I need you to go here. My other cav unit. The Outriders of Dwellin are certainly around here somewhere. We can draw them out. I might be able to shoot at them too, which is nice. Snipes. Well, Snipes probably didn't install the files. I know he's a newer player, so... There we go. That ought to be enough to completely devastate those units. And now here comes the second wave. Go and attack them in the rear. But you can kind of see, like, what I mean about the Doriath archers. Like, they're able to kind of punch above their what you'd expect from a unit like that. There we go. We'll bully them out of position at least. Get these guys turned around so they get their shield bonus. I think we might be able to clean up Angband out here. Yeah. We'll have them continue on. And now these guys are back out in the open again, so we can continue to focus them down as well. So I think we're doing okay. It's still a fairly even battle, though, but this one I think is a little bit more in our favor, at least on this side of things. Ooh, there's some Tolin Gauderhath cav over here as well. Let's see. Where are my units? Where are my bodyguard and co? Let's have them take position over here. This seems to be where an assault is going to come. And these guys are hanging out over here. I think we may have to redeploy them, though. Let's deploy a couple of them over this way. Give some help to the beleaguered Elves of Feanor. And these guys died. That's to be expected. I figured the Outriders are hanging out there somewhere, but that does give them cav superiority on this side a little bit. And now we're starting to run out of ammo, but if we're running out of ammo, then they're definitely running out of ammo. We'll redeploy more troops over this direction. And these guys still have ammunition? They do. Let's go and engage them quickly. Use the spear host to defend our flanks and our rear. We'll bring in these units to do exactly that as well. Oh shit. We got caught here. That's okay. We'll bring in another wave. We'll bleed them here at the very least. Doesn't look like they were kind of expecting to run into us either. And there's some good units here. Urfanen Tower. I think there's some Erainef, or the Mythern and Tolgalen, which is another bodyguard unit for them. I think we should concentrate our numbers predominantly over this way. Yeah, it looks like they just kind of ran into us and they didn't expect to see us there, which is good news. Oh yeah, split shot archers from the tree line. Beautiful. We can beat the scouts, I think. Oh, yeah, especially with the Roqueni Magloro here to help us. I actually managed to beat down this green elf attack here through the woods. I don't think they were expecting to see us. Yeah, they kind of just walked into us there, so it's a good thing we arrived when we did. We are looking a little bit depleted, but we do still have some core units that I think will be really important for us. So what do we got here? We got legionaries. There's a whole other Tolling Gaudath army, so I don't really want to expose myself if I don't have to right now. It's okay. These guys are here basically to die. Let's get over there and fight some of those Outriders. Swing the things back in our favor if we can. 43 to 39. Ooh, that's not good though. Get everyone turned around at least, hopefully in time. Oh, somebody's general just died. Ooh, that's a beautiful charge. That's going to really run those guys down. This could turn into a Pyrrhic defeat for the Green Elves instead of having it all in their own way, which is good. And over here, it seems like we've really managed to wipe out a significant number of their troops. There's still a holdout out there. I don't think it's worth running all the way out there. I think that... Well, this is a tough one. Well, that's Fibbersnipe's army right there. And he was being very passive, so I don't know if we're actually going to see anything from him because he desynced. Another beautiful charge there. That'll start to really turn this around. Yeah, but if he's desynced, it's because he hasn't installed all of the necessary files, which is a little bit frustrating. The testers have known about that for a long time. I think what we'll do is we'll hold position here. I think they're going to beat what's left of the Green Elves. And then when they come a bit closer to the tree line, we're going to rush out at them. We'll have to fall back a bit here. Try and reunite with some of these other units. We'll rally right there. Make sort of an L-shaped formation. Actually, maybe now's not a terrible time to bring these guys out. They think we're beaten, but we still have some life left in us. Yeah, those Outriders are not. Get some shots off on them. shame that Fibrous Knights is desynced, because, yeah, he's not actually his army's not actually doing anything. Although I'm sure he's doing things on his screen, but for the rest of us, he is not. Wait for them to get a bit closer, and then we'll have a nasty surprise waiting for them. Alright. Never a fun thing to see when you're the Green Elves with none of your really scary units. Is a bunch of pissed off Doriath axemen charging out of you at the tree line. That sucks. That's gonna hurt. We got those sentries there. Oh, we got them good. The arrival of our troops here is going to make all the difference. These two guys need to be over here, though. Ooh, they had Ents out here this whole time. I had no idea. Get a good charge here into these Ents. All that high damage is going to hurt for sure. Yeah, that'll be it for the Green Elves on this side. I think this is going to be a... It's still dead even. We still have like a whole army that we have to cut our way through, though. We'll finish it. It won't... I don't think this will be like replay worthy, but just because of that Tolling Gowerhouth army that's done nothing. Oh, and there they go. Let's shift it back to the center. Ooh, Reavers. Where's my bodyguard? We need him. Everything else that we got. How many of those Ents we managed to kill? Not many. It won't matter, though. I'll have them continue to fight the Ents. They'll just take lots of damage if they pull out of there. Let's kill these Arbalists. No, let's not. Let's get those scouts. They still have ammo. Oh. Be a nice charge there. Thin out some of their numbers. Let's massacre those scouts. Uh-oh. Let's get the Laugskaraz. That's gonna hurt. Max Guard can take pretty bad casualties from that, but the Lausgaraz will as well. Oh yeah, we'll massacre these guys, but there just seems to be more and more units just popping up from everywhere. This is a fun map to fight the Green Elves on, to be honest. Got our spearmen in there. Have these guys go and attack them in the rear. Oh, Randirum, those are rangers. They need to die. We will converge on them. Oh yeah, this is a top priority unit here. We'll keep our eye on them for sure. What do we got over here? Oh, and now the Tolling Gauerhoth army is on the move. Oh, that's a little bit weird. Have these guys set up here so we can definitively win this contest in the woods. At least we'll have kind of a battle. Like, I could show this one. I don't think I'd send this to like a YouTuber or something because I wouldn't want to like. I don't know. I wouldn't say waste their time, but it wouldn't be as good of a game for them. But I don't mind doing this and explaining it. And there's still a lot going on here that was enjoyable. All right, time to reform and attack the rear of these damned Green Elves. Well, the Guardians are all breaking. Well, it's time to take these guys between the hammer and the anvil then. Let's go after the Erfin. I think it's just, yeah, he's not desynced, so he'll probably turn around and like countercharge us the second that we get close. I would be surprised if he did not. Ah, what do you know? I'm surprised. They're going to do okay, but the Erfin might pull that back with just like their sheer incredible damage. I think Finrod is beaten here. Yeah, I could show this game. We'll have our... maybe not. This is ridiculous. Yeah, this is the product of not following instructions. What do we got back here? Still a lot of Inarius' army as well. 75 to 68. Let's see here. Apparently this is like totally desynced, like everyone's getting like different stuff, but again, that's a result of one of our players desyncing and just not installing the files that they were instructed to install, which is a little bit irritating. Well, let's see here. Fine for a rehost due to Snipes desyncing. Yeah, I'm totally fine to rehost this. I'll go ahead and exit that game. We'll boot everyone out of there. Unfortunately, it's another issue on this map. But oh well, the map is fine. Okay, well, let's rehost it. Silmarillion Fun Pit. Why not? We've seen that map, though. So let's do something different. I haven't tried Spy Hill, so I don't know what that will be like. I do want to try the Old Forest Town. Let's do that. Oh my goodness. It's an interesting combination of factions there. Well, let's give them 56, I think. Give ourselves 28,000. Yeah, that was an interesting game. It's just a shame that it desynced. Triple Finarfin, eh? Why don't we do a... We'll do a 3v3. I think that's... What the hell? Oh. I see. Why are people leaving the game instead of joining it? Confusing. Ah, Secretariat has to go, and I think the other fellow is rehosting. So let's just have someone move up, and we'll do a 2v2. That's a mirror match there. Who am I gonna play? I'm not really good with the House of Feanor. I'm not really much of a cavalry player. Oh god, Toling Garhoth. I don't think I would do well as a cavalry player, so I will be the anvil to the hammer of Toling Garhoth. Oh no, never mind, we already got one of those. I don't want to play Doriath twice. Well, I guess I'm playing Assyrian against Finarfin. Oh, that's gonna suck. I really don't want to do that. I guess I will play Feanor. This is gonna go. This is. I'm very sorry for what you're about to see. I'm not very good with the House of Feanor. Give them a little bit of extra damage there. Bump that initial damage from... It says it goes to 9, but it actually goes to 10 in effect. It's a lot of charge damage. 25 charge. Most things don't stand up to that very well. Boost their damage to 11. Boost their armor. Sons of Feanor are one of the few factions that actually have a liberal smattering of armor upgrades. Most people do not. Let's see. Oh, we got another person. Eclipse plays a lot of Total War. I think this is going to be his first game on Silmarillion, though. Oof, it's taken a lot of money very quickly. Do I want them? I don't think so. Just a moment. It's a good amount of infantry. We have some cavalry. Not as much as we could have, though. Take ourselves a couple detachments, perhaps. Some melee cavalry to escort the mounted company. Give our infantry a bit of a break. Oof. It doesn't really leave us with a lot, though. Well, I could drop one of the spears in favor of bringing 3 of them. He probably doesn't need an attack upgrade. Nah. These guys, however, will. They can live without it. That'll do. Although now, I would like their extra armor, but 11 is pretty good. Well, granted, 13 is better. These guys are only the reason I agonize over this is that these guys are only particularly good against... We're going to be fighting, I don't know who. But they're only particularly good when you have the upgrade on them. Like, the attack is decent. Like, they'll do okay against, like, regular orcs when they're backing people up. But the extra 2 damage does kind of help them out a lot. Although we will be in the woods, so it might not be important. I don't know. Maybe that's not needed. And I could bring detachment instead. And then I'd be able to upgrade them. Oh, hello, kitty. What are you doing on my desk? I took a boy. And we've got a decent amount of light troops there. And as you can see, they get a bonus in woods or in the snow. So that'll be useful for fighting a guerrilla war in the woods, whereas our more frontline troops here will be just better suited all around. These guys get a bonus in the woods as well? Nope, just in the snow. There you go. See if I can't rustle us up another tester. We can do another game on this map, which I don't think has actually been shown, because I'm pretty sure it's like fresh off the presses from Steward of Dale. So this is another map you will not have seen before. It'll be the first time we get to actually show it off, which is great. Steward is on his way. The map creator will be here to play with us, so we'll be able to get this underway pretty shortly. Well, there we go. Oh. Oh, someone moved up. Why would they move up? There we go. And Steward will join. Oh, Death Eater's coming. Perfect. Let me just quickly send him a message. Oh, I got all of the messages. Let me just get in touch with him. Right. Well, let's see what's going on in chat here. Feanor did nothing wrong. I mean, I suppose that's up for debate. Yes, this is still Medieval 2 Total War. So a lot of like the weird quirkiness and mechanics and stuff, that all still applies. Unfortunately, we can't just make it a new game with its own engine, as I feel if we tread outside of the bounds of modding, we'd best tread carefully, because the Tolkien Society, or the Tolkien Foundation does take that pretty seriously. So unfortunately, we can't do a standalone, because A, that's a way more work. B, we would get sued. And C, Warhammer doesn't allow this kind of modding. It's not that it's impossible to put things like custom assets onto their build, it's just that if you put Lord of the Rings stuff on there, CA has threatened to pull mod support for it on the Steam Workshop, so it would just make everyone's lives shittier. So yes, it's Medieval 2. Medieval 2 is really the only game I think you can do this with, except I suppose Shogun has a thing going on there, which I don't know how that's working. I should really check in on that. And it looked pretty cool. The problem with Rome 2 Total War is that, and actually this really applies for all the later titles, is that if we wanted to do this project, we couldn't do it there either. Maybe we could get models and stuff in there, but at the end of the day, you can't do anything with the campaign map, and this mod will eventually have a campaign. And yes, that's another good point, is that Rise of Mordor got pulled from the Steam Workshop. You can now get that exclusively through ModDB or their Discord because of copyright issues, and CA just didn't want to deal with it. So it's not worth it to go to a more modern title because they're less flexible and really can't disseminate those through the normal channels that you'd be able to do that kind of thing with. So we couldn't do like a DVD at Tempera thing where you can just get it off the workshop. You can't do that because CA has shown that they're very happy to pull it off. So we just go to ModDB. We put things on our Discord. I put them on Google Drive. We go around. We go around that as best we can. But ultimately, the big hurdle is that you just can't do the things on later titles that you can do on Medieval 2. You just don't have the freedom, and we wouldn't be able to do the things that we wanted to. We wouldn't be able to realize the project and the ideals that we want to kind of uphold and create. So can't do that. Yeah, it really is. We miss out on a lot of the mechanics that the later games have. Like, I would love to have armor sundering, fear and terror mechanics and stuff that Warhammer 2 has. I mean, maybe a magic system. Tolkien doesn't really have like a hard magic system, though we could do that for certain units. But you could do a lot with like buffs and things like that you could not necessarily construe as magic. You could like tie those into like an ability for one of the rings of power, for example, like Gandalf buffs melee defense and morale using the Ring of Fire, Narya. So we could do things like that. There's so much cool stuff, but at the end of the day, Medieval 2 can do a lot of things that the modern titles can't. And that's why it's good for this kind of thing, and that's why we're on Medieval 2. Oh, I guess I should give everyone more money. There we go. Well, I don't need to be Feanor anymore, but I also don't want to be Doriath. And all the other factions are taken. Let's be Tolan Gaurhoth. Let's go for numbers. And Feanor can just kind of be the odd man out. I'm okay with that. I mean, Medieval 2 does have fear. It does have a fear mechanic, and you can add that to units. It's a trait in the EDU. That's easy. And we can add certain buffs, too. Like, there's a lot that we can do. A lot of, like, the new Philothrum faction, which I said I wasn't going to talk about, but I will talk about it a little bit briefly. They have a lot of, like, really powerful custom Inspire effects in a radius around them. So there's a lot of things that we can do, but we can't do things that just provide temporary buffs to, like, attack and defense and stuff like that the way that you can in Warhammer, for example. As far as I'm aware, that's not something that you can alter, because that's controlled by like a text file, basically. But I guess you can. I guess it is possible. Like there is the machinery that exists, because being like very, very fatigued in Medieval 2 will make you take a penalty to melee defense, and there are certain traits that entail penalties to your melee stats, like your melee defense. But as far as I'm aware, it's not possible to do that. Yes, there is an archery-based faction. That would be the Elves of Assyriand. We'll take a quick look at them here. I'm not going to switch over to them because someone else has chosen them. But yeah, just a quick glance at the roster. You can see a lot of people with bows, and there's even more. There's a few more people with like javelins and things like that. And they have very, very few like really suitable melee infantry. Most of their roster is spears. They've got some pretty versatile cav here in the terms of the Outriders of Dweilwyn, who are like a lancer slash spear cavalry kind of unit, but they're also pretty good against monsters. And then they've got a little bit of heavy infantry, very minuscule amount, and it's very expensive, and there are less of them. They take like a minus 20 size penalty essentially, so they're quite small, so you can't like make an entire army out of them. Or a multiplayer campaign with more than one person. Yeah, that would be really nice. I mean, you can do hot seats in Medieval 2, but it's really not the same because you're just auto-resolving, right? Like, unless you want to like play the battles, but then you're playing against the AI, which is unfortunate. I mean, I guess you could work around that. Like, if you wanted to play with like a dedicated crew of people, you could play your battles out on the side, and then like whoever loses, like their army is destroyed, and then you like take your percentage of casualties and you delete a certain amount of units. But that's really janky and a lot of extra effort. So yeah, I wish that they had that mechanic as well. It'd be really cool. I can't tell you how many times I've like had friends that want to play Total War at the same time, and they're like, yeah, let's play together, let's do a campaign, and then I can only play with one of them. It sucks, man. Okay, that could be an interesting conversation. But just for some clarification, in what sense do you mean expand on the game as a genre? Like an example that I could speak to, because I think we might be on the same page about this, but I don't want to just assume. All right, just going through my messages here. Yeah, so Finrod's just installing his build. He'll be a few more minutes, so we can continue to have this conversation. Because I really do find that interesting. Like a lot of the like design decisions the CA has decided to go with. I won't speculate too much about certain ones of them, but we can get into that. I haven't really heard anything about Troy Total War, and I want to love it. I really do, because I've tried to make like it's a more infantry focused game from what I've heard from the publicity, and that's what I've tried to do with Silmarillion Total War. So like I'm on board like right from the get go. I just haven't really heard a lot about it. Also, hi Zachary. Sorry, I totally missed you there and all that hubbub. I kind of feel that, and I am excited to try out the new DLC that just dropped for Warhammer 2. But there's a lot of really good like model and animation work that they have done with like the Greenskin roster. But there are also certain things. Apparently, they're going to expand sieges in Warhammer 3. Apparently, that's something that they're working on. And I have sympathy for them because that's like a technical kind of thing for them. But one of my criticisms, and the kind of it relates to what you're saying, in that there's like sometimes there's just reskin after reskin. The Silver and Guard, for example, it's like a upper mid tier spear unit with some magic resist tacked on, and that's included in the $10 price tag. That's been in mods like SFO. Well, SFO didn't have that, but like Radius has had that for a while. The Rangers are basically the Talons of Torquelada from SFO with out their without the range component to them and the ability to fire while moving. Things like that. Like I don't think that's something that you should have to pay for, because that's just really easy to mod. Like anyone could have made the Silver and Guard, and in fact, made the equivalent of them. So like, I can kind of see where you're coming from with that. Is that sometimes some of the components, at least of DLC, does seem a little bit low effort. But like I said, there's some really cool stuff like the rogue idols that are just, it's just good. Like obviously, CA is a really talented, well-funded professional studio. There's no question there. But yeah, there are aspects of the new DLC that I'm just not a big fan of, and that's one of them. Is that yeah, there's some reskins, or there's the power creep problem as well, which like they have an anti-infantry bonus, but in what way are the new White Lion units significantly different from the Silver Helms? Like, what do they do differently from the Silver Helms other than shred infantry a little bit better? They're both like pretty decent charge bonus units. They've got armor piercing. They're fast movers. In essence, they're just a better version of the Silver Helms. And you could have done that by just adding anti-infantry to the Silver Helms, and you'd have the same thing. Obviously, you don't get the cool animation and like the White Lion like model and things like that. But functionally, there's a lot of things, at least on the high elf side of the roster, for the new update that have already existed in mods, or just straight up upgrades over existing units that kind of need love as well. Like the White Lion infantry, for example, have just been kind of left behind. So yeah, I can see that. But though it does sound like Warhammer 3 is going to be a more interesting title, like they are going to expand sieges, for example, which is something that we've been... I feel that I can say this with authority, that we have all been collectively begging them to do since the first one came out, and we realized just how garbage sieges in Warhammer 2 are, because it's the same map over and over. In a lot of cases, it doesn't, like, you have a dwarf building and like a castle in the background, which looks real cool, but the stuff you get to play on is just the same area over and over. And like, I know why they do that. They've explained it, and it makes sense. But it's also like, you guys are super talented and you're well funded. Please do better with sieges this time around, is what I'm saying. If there's any CA employee out there, I highly doubt it. No one gives a shit about like Medieval 2 anymore, at least on the CA side of things, I feel. But yeah, please make sieges more interesting. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree, and that's kind of the perspective that I come from when I got into Silmarillion, is that I didn't want roster bloat, and I didn't want copies of things, because that's something that I had an issue with in other mods that I played from Medieval 2, and that there is definitely an issue with in Warhammer 2 and the Warhammer series, is that there are things that are just upgrades or copies of each other. And of course I say this and I have like 2 units that are literally copies of each other, but all the units in Silmarillion Total War, they all do something differently that other units don't do. There's some overlap, of course. Like the Hishbokraz Hunters, they're an archer unit. A lot of other archers will shoot arrows. That's what they do, right? But these guys can hide. They have bonuses in woods that can make them particularly good. And they fulfill a role in the roster that they wouldn't otherwise have. Like, they don't have another bow unit within Tolin Gaurhoth. That is their only bow unit. So I totally get where you're coming from, and I want that complexity, and I feel that you can have complexity without adding a ton of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to have more in order to have things be complex and to have depth. So yeah, totally on board there. Am I trying to make it as multiplayer friendly as possible? Yeah, that's a complex question. So multiplayer is just easier to do than a campaign, I think, because there's a hell of a lot less that happens. You need to do. Like, there's a lot of like altering and things in text files and like all this other stuff you have to do with campaign that I'm just ignorant of, and it's just boggles my mind. I can't do that. So multiplayer was the first thing that we could do in order to like get factions out there, test concepts. Like, okay, I want X faction to do Y. Well, then how are we going to do that if we don't have a campaign and we don't want to wait for 50 years? Multiplayer. And my experience, like, I used to be on the 30s Reforged team, and Sid of the Dark Cloud is in the chat. Hi, Sid. How's it going, buddy? But I used to be on the 30s Reforged team, and I used to work on multiplayer balance. And so I've taken a lot of like my passion and my focus and the things that I've learned from that, and I've applied it to this. So at the end of the day, I want to have a mod that, because people have played Medieval 2 for a really long time, like we've discussed, there's a lot of reasons to come back and play Medieval 2 and to mod on Medieval 2. I want to have something that will stand the test of time really well, and I want it to be an experience that you can enjoy equally in multiplayer and on the campaign map as well. And I want those to be like different but still somewhat relatable experiences. So I wouldn't say that there's a multiplayer focus for this mod. It's a matter of convenience that multiplayer is what we're focusing on right now, because we don't have campaign to a point where we can really start to develop that. We are working on it though. But I want it to be fun in multiplayer and balanced, and I also want it to be fun and balanced on the campaign as well. So hopefully the experience on either end, like if you're a PvE focused player or if you're PvP focused, there will be something in Silmarillion that is appealing to you. But let's make my army. I've been sitting here just rambling away. We've got all of our players. Let's take these guys. Oh, cool! I can take 2 of them, and they get slightly more expensive. I should fix that. That's not right, but I'm gonna exploit that for all it's worth. And we'll take some Gijek Skadas. I'm also gonna release a primer as well, like a pronunciation primer, because when I made these names, like everything in there is an English like phoneme, or it's like it's a sound that we have, so you'll be able to say them. It just looks scary. But I will be releasing a primer to kind of explain things, and maybe I'll do a lore video as well, because like I had to make a lot of the lore for Tolian Gaudhoth because there's nothing written about them. Let's do this. Let's try and go smaller. Hishbukuras are fun and super. They're very reliable and very cheap. Let's do that. I'm definitely gonna need some Wolfguard. We'll invest into them. Ash Priests. Oop, that's not going to give us enough money. Actually, I think if we drop that, we might be able to pop one of those back on. That's alright. That's an okay army. I don't have any ranged capabilities. It's mostly mid-range. Yeah, I don't have a lot of infantry either, so maybe I don't need... Well, I do have a decent amount of infantry. Oh my god! Stop friggin' yelling at me! There we go. Currently the plan is to have Belagost and Nogrod as one united faction, which is probably going to be unpopular with some people, but allow me to explain myself. The take that we have on dwarves... How do I explain this without going into a huge big rant? Oh, whatever, I'm just going to dive into it. So, the dwarves for me have always been a pretty... I guess boring faction. Like there's a lot of takes on dwarves, and a lot of them really boil down to being like heavy infantry, and you walk forward and destroy people, and you're kind of slow. So we've changed things around a little bit, and given the dwarven players more to do. Like there's still a heavy infantry faction, but there's like more choices about like maneuvering, and like there's actually a fair amount of micro to it. At least I hope, with the system that we've designed. But if I were to split them in two, I don't even know how I would make them different without also making them at the same time the same as other factions that already exist. So for the time being, just for the sake of having a dwarven faction in the game and making them like actually fun to play and like engaging, for even if you just have a bunch of like heavy infantry that's like a slight bit slower. There's still like lots of engaging plays that you can make, and you're not just constantly outmaneuvered and slow and irritated by how just sluggish your units are. And I don't currently know the state of Erebor, but I also know that Erebor has a ton of cavalry, which gives you lots of like fast moving options. Goat cavalry, chariots, that kind of thing. It's very like Hobbit movie-esque. The dwarves won't have any cavalry. We're going to try and stick a little bit closer to the story in that regard. But what they will have, and one of the big changes I think that leans really heavily on our detachment system, is that a lot of their support units and some of their shock infantry will be detachment units. Oh, wow. Guys, extra, and it tries to censor it because it thinks I'm trying to say sex. But yeah, so it leans really heavily into the detachment system and like doing a lot with your like backlines and your flanking units and things like that, and using them to defend yourself, but also like push against your enemy and that sort of thing. I've also increased the charge distance of a lot of dwarves, and I've called it the natural sprinter trait, and you'll see that eventually when I make a poster for the dwarves when they're more ready to be shown. And that increases their charge distance by a significant amount. So you have like limited mobility in like bursts when things get close to you. So you'll be able to like run at people really quickly and cover ground like in like close quarters very quickly. But like maneuvering out in a field, you are going to be a little bit slower. So stuff like that, like littler changes to kind of augment the heavy infantry playstyle and make it more engaging for people to enjoy, I guess. So that's the plan with the dwarves so far, anyways. That's for their multiplayer anyway. As for how they're gonna play in faction, I got no idea. I have no idea. I'm still just trying to get everything on all the factions onto the build. We're getting there. We're at about 8 of 11. No, it's like 9 of 11 done. If we can't find another person here, I know we've been in the lobby for a while, but I don't mind it because I get to like talk with people and kind of engage a little bit and talk about like philosophy and not philosophy in the sense of like what is beauty or something. I don't know, but like design philosophy, the stuff that goes into Silmarillion that makes it different from other options that you have out there, more than just visually. That's kind of what I'm really interested in. Like personally, I'm very passionate about that kind of thing. So. Oh, nice. Uruke is coming. So we have another tester coming in. We'll be able to get this underway really shortly here. Oh, Sin wants to play too. Oh, maybe people will be able to have fun with it. Like once I've head out for the day. It's 1:30, but I live on Vancouver Island, so our weather is really all over the place. So it was nice out earlier, but now it's pouring rain. So I really have nowhere to be. They have swordsmen that cost over 1,000. Which unit are we talking about here? Do you know the name? Oh no, the Arankir Limb. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Honestly, I put that model together with like a bunch of different like really cool stuff that I found, like Gondor models and like Dol Amroth models and a whole bunch of other stuff. And damn, did they turn out friggin' awesome! Yeah, the Doriath elites look really good as well. That's Sin of the Dark Cloud. He's in chat right there, so you can tell him as much. All right, let's ready up. Let's get this done. I probably should have brought some artillery. Guess it's not too late, but yeah, I don't know. This is more of a like get in your face kind of build. And who am I fighting against? I'm fighting against Silmarillion. Oh, it's gonna suck. I shouldn't play Doriath. Oh no, I should not. I'm gonna be angbanned. I will get butchered by Silmarillion. I am not good at fighting Silmarillion as Doriath. There is like a trick to it, I'm sure, but let's take some of that. One of those. Let's show off the Angband armor upgrades. I actually just posted something on Reddit that shows these off, and people really, really jived with them. Product of Skyly's hard work, and they look fantastic. I'll take Spear Guard. Let's see here. We'll definitely want some reserve units. Iron Shods. Iron Shod Reavers will be nice. And let's take... Let's take some Wretches, because Wretches are just useful, generally. That'll do, pig. And got a little bit of Arbalest there for some ranged fire. Yeah. That'll do. Off we go. I think he does. Am I mistaken? I think there is a... Oh, Caligorm, Kudafin, you're right. Caranthir does not have one. Oh. There is actually a very good chance of that happening. So as I was talking a little bit more about multiplayer and single player being different experiences, I plan to heavily augment the smaller rosters of multiplayer with... Well, you're going to find out more about that later. I don't want to blow the lid off of you, my commander's work, because he's going to reveal that system to you. But there will also be like unique units for campaigns. There's going to be a ton of mercenaries to augment things, and there's not going to be like a barracks event, because I think a lot of people have actually woken up to this, is that a barracks event is a... Whoa, we have to attack? Oh, God. Oh, goodness me. Oh, never mind. We actually started on the other side of the wall. Never mind. That's fine. What was I saying? Right. There's going to be like tons and tons of new units that are campaign specific that you won't see in multiplayer. Do I want to go over here? Can I go over here? I got no idea. I'll definitely do this though. So the answer to that question is yes, very likely that every like hero and every significant like regiment or unit that was involved in some battle will see the light of day, not necessarily in multiplayer. But it's entirely possible that you will see those units in campaign and you will be able to use them, and they'll be implemented in a fashion that's like lore friendly and like immersive. Because I think that's what a lot of us like about Total War campaigns, is that you can just lose yourself in them and like rewrite history or rewrite a story, carve your own destiny kind of thing. So immersion is a pretty big, important part of that. And that's what I really want to do for the campaign. So yes is the answer. I suppose with our flanks to the river, we'll be able to redeploy more troops over on this side. You guys can be your own group. Oof. That means we'll be fighting in the woods, though, which is certainly going to be in favor of the Assyrian elves. I don't know. Let me figure out what I want to do with these guys. Maybe just one unit here spread out will be just fine. Yeah, that'll about do her, won't it? I can put a unit here behind them. Like so. They can hide? That's not correct. I need to fix that. Okay, yeah, that's definitely not supposed to be the case. So we've got some reserves over here. I will put a unit of axemen as well, just behind the bulldogs. No, I don't want you guys to be in this formation. And then we've got a solid number of reserves there for our center line. And then I've got spear guard, and then a final unit of reavers. We'll put more or less in the same area. It's a nice little bit there. And this, we're kind of going for a bit like a bit of an oblique here, obviously. Mostly necessitated by the fact that there's a river on this side. And you guys can go, I don't know, where do you want to go? What do you want? Put them right here. Nice and well defended. And then now we've got another reserve unit here. How many spears do we conceivably need? Guess not that many. We'll put them over on this side. I didn't want to kill the next thing on my bucket list. Yeah, that's a bit of an oops. Yeah, 2 days it will be available on UBAC Commander's channel, and then Scouts of Entertainment also has a replay that we did. It's a pretty decent battle. It's not super close, but you will get to see the Philothrum in action. But UMAC Commanders, where like you'll be able to go to like understand kind of what the Philothrum are and like what they can do, and then you'll get to see that reflected in a battle. And then we'll be sending him battles and stuff later. It's just sort of how it worked out. And then Scouts, it'll be like Scouts will also be covering the Easterlings, and he'll do them in depth. So that's how that's going to turn out. Yeah, I couldn't live with the shame either, you mad. I just can't. I'm not very good at the Elves of Osirian either. I'm not very good at like micro-intensive factions. I just get distracted. I'm like, oh, that looks pretty. Or I'll be like observing the battlefield to see how I can help my enemies. Or I'll be like looking at units to see if they're performing to like code, essentially. And then I just lose things that I needed to not lose. And it's just it's a nightmare. It's a real massacre. But let's take a look at the Yangban armor upgrades here. These are done by Sky Lee, one of our team members. And they're damn nice. This is a temporary model for the Bulldogs, as they will be getting something better. Made by Taurion. And then you got the Axe variant there. And this is what the base version of the Iron Shods looks like. And this is like a company. Actually, it's like Karen Koma's work, but I just combined them with a few things. Again, more of Karen Koma's work, but I added a new spear to them. Balrogs, these are the classic Balrogs. I believe they were made by King Kong. But they sexy. They're still terrifying all these years later. And got Wretches. Really efficient spear unit. Pretty garbage for most other things, though. Yeah, so this is what fighting... I'm always fighting Finrod, and he is always the Elves of Assyrian, and I'm just so sad. Oh, what? Who am I shooting? Did he deploy predominantly over here? No. But, like, the Elves of Assyrian could be anywhere. Literally anywhere. Yeah, see, we have some hidden units pop up here. And now I get to get skirmished to death. Oh, God. This is why I brought all the armor upgrades, though. This is the exact reason. Well, we're going to go over this direction. You guys should not be shooting. I don't want to waste my ammo. Precious, precious ammunition. I will move these up here, though. Will be a thorn in Death Eater's side. Am I already being shot? Would not surprise me. Yep, here they come. We're going to stay in the tree line then. But yeah, like, if we can get in there, if we can fight the Elves of Osirion hand to hand, we'll butcher them. Like, it won't even be fair. It's just a matter of catching the bastards, which is not an easy thing to do. I better move these guys. That's okay. That crew can reliably suffer losses for a significant period of time and be just fine. But now I know that they want my mangonel, and they fear my mangonel, which is something that we can potentially use. I might just let them shoot at me for a little bit too. Let them run themselves ragged, trying to pierce the armor of Angband, which will not be easy. And we'll still be able to keep things like hidden in the woods, so they'll only be able to shoot at what I really want them to shoot at, which is like our heavy frontline units. Have these guys run up here. Really spread them out to avoid that missile fire. And this will probably oblige Death to come forward. Oh, I see. He's going for a little bit of a different approach here. A little bit more of a fighting in the... Oh, what? Did I do that? I don't recall doing that. I bet you that they have a mangonel as well. They probably do. Yes, they do. Like, whoa, what just happened? Yeah, they're going to go after my halberds with a furious vengeance, which, you know, you can't really blame them for. But what he does not see are my crossbows. Unless, of course, he is on stream and listening to me chatter away. That would make sense. Did I get anybody? I might have. Nope, nope. Yeah. See, I don't mind fighting against the Elves of Osirion. I feel like it makes me better at this game because you have to be so on your toes, because they could jump on you like that from just about any angle. But god damn, is it irritating. They just don't stop coming. All the feinting and all of the ambushes. Like, it's a cool faction for sure. And they're super satisfying to play, no doubt. Ooh, yeah, we got you good. Not that good. A handful of models. Acceptable. Let's see if we actually get anybody with that. Oh, it's getting closer. I'll try one more. Who do they got over here? House of Finarfin. Ooh, no. No. That's a much juicier target. Forget the Elves of Osirion. I'm sure we... Looks like we cooked a lot of people here, too. Like, there's a lot of dead hidden units there, for sure. I don't think it's going to be super exciting here, because this is a... I can't really afford to advance on them, because I have no idea what they have, especially in the woods here. But what we can do, and I think is probably the best idea, dare I say it, in case someone is listening? I think you can probably guess what my plan here is. Oh, and they've got Randirum. Ugh! Oh, that's scary. That's okay, though. We have heavy armor. But yeah, what I could do... I'll just say it. I don't care. I'll just move up to here and, like, put my battle line, like, right here. Ooh, someone's general died. Oh, that sucks. But I'll put my units here, and then I have, like, a wall of steel, basically, between me and them, and I can just funnel reinforcements across here. That'd be, I think, a really effective way of just zoning them out and keeping them super busy. But they may force my hand. If they go for enfilading fire with those bloody Randirum, that would certainly be a problem for me. How close are we right now? Oh yeah, I definitely want that. Anyway, let's keep an eye on the Randirum, see where they're at. Yeah, see, they want me to advance. I don't want to advance. I have no means of hunting them down because they're so much faster than I am, because I'm all heavy infantry and they're all light infantry. Yeah, I'd never be able to do it. So they can poke at me all they want. And I have a potential answer to these guys anyway. What's going on over here? My ally falling back? No, Eclipse, don't do it. It's not worth it. Where you going, buddy? Oh, no. That's fine. We can probably still stay where we were planning to go. Move them back, though. Don't want to lose these guys. Holy crap! Oh my god! Eclipse! You mad bastard! What is this? Alright then. Well, let's break off these units here. Fuck it. No, let's advance. Let's throw these guys into disarray. I like it! I love that kind of aggressive play. Like, hell yeah! Look at this. What a response. Oh, wow. And he's probably real lucky, too. Like, this is bad news bears. And there we go. Now the host of Silmarillion is going to be like, well, crap. We came to the wrong neighborhood, did we not? We'll chase them. Chase them far and wide. That is the play here. Oh, Christ almighty. Eclipse, no. You've exposed my poor mangonel. Oh, we'll catch them out here, too. This is going to be lovely. Oh, this was beautiful. Eclipse, this was genius. Oh yeah, now we got some scouts here. My real prize though is the Randirum. I want them. I want them good. Oh, come on, Balrogs. Oh, they're impetuous. They don't like this. Oh well, we're gonna catch lots of these guys though. Oh yeah, the Outriders of Dweilwyn are good, but the Balrogs are not currently elephants. They're infantry, so we're gonna massacre these guys. Where are my Uruloki? There are ways. Oh, I see what they're doing here. Okay. Come on, Uruloki. You can shoot from there. Okay, whatever. Fine. Be stupid. No one likes you anyway. Why are we constantly falling back? We don't need to fall back. Yeah, I'd like to know what Eclipse is doing here with his army. Like, you gotta make a decision here, buddy. Like, are we gonna fight? Are we gonna not fight? Oof, this is gonna be disgusting. This is a little dirty. This is an equal funds fight. Like, making us fight him in a choke point like this is kind of gross, but it's like that, I guess. Yeah, that's the good stuff. Make him pay. I'll happily fight those ends with Balrogs. Oh, we gotta get in there. He's already starting to fucking lose this fight. Shit. Uraloki, quickly! It's like the perfect place. For us to use our mangonel. Ooh, yeah, Artorias will have to move in and reinforce him, but Artorias will do that. Artorias knows what he's doing. Mm. Yeah, there's a lot of troops being held up by these Ents right now, which is very surprising. How am I Uraloki doing? Stupidly. Very poorly. Please spit. Please spit your fire. That's literally the only reason I've brought you. Yeah, this will be the good stuff. Uh-oh. Someone's gonna lag. I feel it. You managed to kill off some of those damn Ents yet? Oh, they're still at 10. I'm going to be sad. Okay, they're down to 7, so they will start to die pretty quickly. Ooh, the lag's setting in, though. Oh, man, the Uraloki are really cooking that flank, which is good news. Because that's what we need. Against the Elves of Assyria, and the fire tends to do really well against lightly armored units, so the Elves of Assyrian will just burn like kindling in the face of Uraloki. Like, that's gonna really change things up for us there. Oh yeah, we're scything through these guys. It's going to be an interesting fight, for sure. Yeah, they're hacking them apart. There's Uruloki support. I've got a whole army here. We're in okay shape. There's some Nargothrond reinforcements who have arrived. Let's save that remaining ammunition. We'll fire into the rear of those guys. There we go. That'll cook some of them. What we got here? 34-29. Still a good, interesting... Well, I haven't seen the rest of the battlefield, but it still seems like a good battle, at least from my perspective. Let's see how we're doing over here. Ooh, that's ugly. I don't know who's going to win that, but I think it's going to be Nargothrond, probably. Uh-oh, someone's engaged my troops here. Probably riders? Nope. These guys are not long for this world, unfortunately. March my Uruloki out of there. These guys should probably be broken by now. Go for some enfilading fire on those scouts. Ooh, Cav. Luckily there are reserves. They're doing their best. Or my bulldogs. I'll throw them in there too. Oh yeah, trolls collapsing in from the other side. That's big deal. That's a big deal right there. Oh, Urfin and Tower are gonna break that wing like nothing. Managed to cook a few of them. See if I can get these guys to fire point blank into the rear. Probably not. I doubt that they'll want to. No, that's okay. We'll have the Uruloki just outright attack these guys. We'll clear up that front. Oh yeah, heavy victory on this side. I don't know if Nargothrond will be able to beat our ally in time, though. 42-40. Starting to even out a bit. Ooh, those are Urfin in the back lines, though. And I have no more missiles. That sucks. Oh, you're still trying to shoot at somebody? Right here. Put a fight right here. Or a shot. How are my spear guard doing? Very well for themselves, it seems. Most of these guys are probably broken, so let's take that spear guard and go and menace those archers. This is a cool map. How are the Valor Alcar doing? They've had a lot of support. I think we're gonna crush them here, but they're actually like there's Urfin in there too, and they'll hurt the Balrogs really badly. Time to move forward. See how the Uruloki are doing. Yeah, we've managed to run them through. Urfin and Tower over there. This should be attacked from the rear. I want to keep my Uruloki away from them for sure. Still even. Can you guys shoot at that? Come on. That would be a huge hit. That would, like, change the face of this fight hit. And we'll come back to them and see how they're doing. Yeah, they're going to break. Clean that up. Send the Uroloki this direction. Oh, there's Urfinen Tower there too. There's so much Urfinen Tower. How we doing here? Try and muscle them in a bit. Oh, did you toss? Did it go off? Nah, I think this might be a loss for us, actually. Uh-oh. Leg. Oh no. Finrod. That'd be okay. If we had to kick Finrod, I mean, I think most of his army is engaged. No, he's fine. There we go. It's time to break this. This is getting in our way. This is a good opportunity to use the crossbows. Get a lot of value off of them. Oh, you guys need to fall back. This is going to be our rally point here. No, we'll kill them first. Is that Urfinen Tower? Oh yeah. Need to keep those Urfinen Tower away from my Uroloki. For sure, for sure. Yeah, see, they want a piece, but they're not going to get it. Unless, of course, these guys get bogged down, and they are. Oh, no! Uroloki, you fools! Run, 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 run. Yeah, they didn't get any. They're about to get overwhelmed anyway. Oh, Uroloki, not what I told you to do. Waddle your fat asses over this direction, please. There's a fair amount there, but I still have like a full army. Well, what do we got back here? He's routing it. Oh, that's just my artillery piece. That's no longer of any value to me anyway. And now is time to reform. Take our halberds here. Have them take center stage, just like that. Give our legionaries a break, and we'll use them as reserves instead, because they've been fighting for longer. Still got our monsters. Oh my god, here. Lots of spear guard, too. Oh yeah, we have a big army to take on what remains of them, and we're definitely ahead by a decent amount. Well, might as well save what resources we can. We'll run those guys out of there before they rout. I think we got this, unless there's like some significant remnants that come back here and are continuously a pain. And there are some. There's some battered units that will come back, and a fairly healthy unit of Urfinen Tower, which is certainly very scary. And I'll show you why. Where's Urfinen Tower? They got rangers too. Two-handed axes really are scary units in this game. They don't have a lot of melee defense, so they can die fairly easily, but yeah. We'll rally and then we'll... Uh-oh. Oh, they caught him. Some cavalry got him. It's just Riders of the Past, though. Let's see what remnants they have. There's a decent amount of units there. It won't be a fun fight for sure. But I think that that's one that we can ultimately come out on top in. See if they manage to get away. They might. Oh yeah, we'll get a bunch of them. Oh, they can shoot at Balrogs all day. Balrogs have like 16 armor. And if we catch them in the middle of that reloading animation, it'll also take them longer to be able to move, so we might be able to catch them here. Now that's going to make him have to turn around with some Urfin and Tower. Oh yeah. Oh, we're going to get him. We're going to get some easy kills here with our Balrogs for sure. You tried. We'll get our Balrogs out of there now. I think that's pretty good. Troops are marshaled. And what do they have left? Not a lot of infantry. I think this will be a fight that comes down to us, and I think we're going to win it. Good. With the exception of you. What the hell? That'll do. It's not amazing. Time for a showdown. We're going to go up this direction, I think. What kind of cavalry can we expect? Ooh, that's a lot of Roqueni Magloro. That's pretty scary. These guys still have ammunition? They probably don't. That's probably hard fighting for Nargothrond. Yeah, it's butchery down in here. Ooh, Nargothrond has a decent amount of units left. I don't really have an answer to the pikes, which sucks. I also don't want to like cede them a positional advantage if I don't have to. Yeah, they'll try and move forward and take advantage of that because they want to get the Roqueni into my Balrogs, who would all die, probably die pretty quickly of that. Most of my troops are fairly fresh. What I'll do is detach my wretches and move them over this way. And then with some spear guard to inspire them, and we'll use the better version, the one that's not so tired. Make sure that they're in a group together, which is perfect. I don't think they have any skirmishers left. So now that I think about this, I could just chase their cavalry a little bit. I'd never get them, though. Can you go through all these areas? You can. They just look like obstructions, but they're actually not. That's fine. We'll take this time. Ah, they still have ammunition. That's the bad thing. Let's see. That's the part where they don't have... Ooh, that was a good try. This is where I'm going to kind of focus my assault, though. This is the place where I think we have the best chance of breaking through. There we go. Push them out of position. Yeah, this is where they're weakest. That's why we need to attack them. If we just attack in the center like crazy people, we'll die. I just wish these Uraloki would do what they were fucking told already. Like, quit waddling your useless asses around here and actually go and do your job. You have a job. Let's do it. Yeah, see, they're being terrible. Like, come on, Ruloki. Come on. Come the fuck on. Like, they're just... That's so irritating. Like, come on, move. Move. Wow, you fucking useless twats. I don't mean to get mad, but that's just stupid. Like, come on. They're literally doing nothing. Wow, I've lost all of them. Like, what the fuck? That's so frustrating. Well, my Ruloki did nothing. That's super frustrating. If we can defend ourselves for long enough, we might be able to win this. Yeah, because we're like definitely breaking it over here. Oh wow, these guys are still behind. There's a chance. Let's muscle our way in here along this line, see if we can't break it. That will be critical. There we go. Now our spears crash into the back. We managed to keep those cavalry at least out of the way. Like, pushing them behind the lines was super useful. But fuck. I hate getting mad, but, like, my Uruloki, like, they just stood there and didn't do anything. Like, that's just super frustrating. All that time. I'll never get that time back. Think about it. All that time spent trying to catch these guys, or, like, bring them around. Oh. Run, Balrogs. Oh, wow, apparently we're gonna... No, this is a map issue. That's what this is, because that just happened somewhere entirely different. Like, that's a pathfinding issue that needs to be resolved by the map creator, because that's just super irritating and unnecessary. Like, they just stop moving, and they'll just, like, walk around in a circle like a bunch of retards. What's the percentage on that? That's really good, actually. If it had the Philothrum, I would probably send this to Indie Pride or something, but alas. Maybe I'll do this one. I haven't done a good, like, a really, really interesting Silmarillion replay in a while, and I need some more replays to do. Oh man, I'm over it. I'm kind of over it. I'm still a little bit sad. This hurts my heart. Like, that's definitely a pathfinding problem, I think, because they're so close to the settlement. But yeah, this came down to, like I thought it would, winning on the wings, but apparently we broke through in the center, which I don't know how we managed to do. But like we made them kind of come to us and like shifted their lines out of place, and that's probably how it happened. Maybe we managed to like surround the center. Where is he going? He's just going on vacation with this cavalry. Like, are we supposed to like chase them? I don't want to do that. Oh my god, you guys are actually routing? In the face of what? They're like, all resistance is crushed. What could you possibly be running from? Oh, that's fine. Okay, here comes the cavalry. He probably just wants my Balrogs or something. I don't know. It's like an honor thing. Like, we narrowly won the battle, but at least we killed your Balrogs. Thumb in my eye. Maybe that's what's happening. All right. I don't think any of my wretches are left. No, I got 4. Oh, I see. This is like a last samurai, last stand sort of dealy. I think those knights will probably get out of there before I catch them. Oh, no. Maybe not. Cool looking unit, though. I think that's game over. Just want to make me run after 5 cav? I really don't want to do that. Do they have some remaining units? No, we've broken them. What's going on here? You know, I really am. I think that's like definitely very clearly a pathfinding thing that will have to be looked at. Like I said, it's a new map. We've never played on this before, so it's to be expected that there are bugs. I shouldn't be so irritated about it. That's just foolish. Wants to be mad about it. We had a good game. My bulldogs managed to make it through this storm. I think I still got my general. You know, I don't even mind. It's kind of last stands like this. They're just pretty fun. Oh, Balrog has just narrowly missed them. Just die already. There we go. We'll break them and that'll be it. I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I just assume he wants to have like a cool, like, last stand, last samurai kind of moment. What's left? No, seriously, what's left? I have no idea. Are there more? Like, what's happening here? That was a tough one. Justerius and Artorias. I don't know if they got destroyed or not. No, they kind of did. We all kind of did. There's no winners in this, but that's like a good game. What do I call this? 4v4 Forest Town, I guess. I should have taken a picture. That's okay. Oh, well, that's been a lot of streaming. Like a lot. Well, I think I will call it there. I will like open kind of the floor for questions if anyone has any that like haven't been answered, or even if they have been answered. Like if we answered them early in stream, the streams went on for like 2.5 hours. So ask away. I'll give you another 10 minutes or so if you guys have any questions about the mod, or if you're like interested in like doing some testing for us, or if you want to help out, etc., etc. Feel free to ask. I mean, catch up on chat here. Will there ever be a Morgoth model just for jokes? Maybe. I don't know. We're not really planning to have Morgoth fight. It's pretty explicitly stated. There's no room for interpretation there. So that he only ever fought once, and that was against Fingolfin. Which maybe we can build into like a text event, but I don't think that Morgoth will ever see the light of day, and I don't think that he should either, because I actually kind of talked about this earlier. There's a lot of like mechanics that we don't have to represent certain things that newer Total War titles do. You can't accurately represent a Valar on the field of combat. Not in Medieval 2 anyway. You just can't. Like, you could make them an elephant, you can do all kinds of stuff, but at the end of the day, they're just a really powerful troll, and he doesn't really, I think, do them justice, and I don't think that would add a whole lot either. I mean, Angband already has a ton of really scary, big, monstrous units. Morgoth would just be another drop in that bucket, and I don't think it's a meaningful addition. Let's see here, Jervis. I have to catch up to UMAD. No, UMAD is doing his own thing, and that is fantastic for him. I'm very, very happy that he's doing well with his channel, and mine will follow whatever course that I deem necessary, or that it just ends up following. I'm not worried about that kind of thing. I don't stress over that. What else did I miss? No, that's pretty well everything so far. Yeah, Morgoth unit size 12. 12 Morgoths. The world's not ready for that. Is it still the old version? No, not really. I think you have access to our testing channels. If you don't, let me know, but I'm like 90% sure that you do. There is a build in there, which I uploaded, which was supposed to be the test build, but I did not realize that if you upload two things to Dropbox with the same name, one will overwrite the other. So what has happened is that the build that's available in our testing channel right now is the tournament version. That's the one I intend to stick onto ModDB later today. So you get that, and then you install the Philothrum update, and then there's one other file in there that fixes a projectile, as well as a Inspire effect, and then you put that into data as well. So in that order, you get the big builds, the Philothrum update, and then the little one singular file. Yeah, I mean, honestly, for UMAD, and he said this before, like it's fun for him, and it's like a secondary source of income. For me, I don't post enough to make any significant money, really. I make maybe I make like $100 every couple of months, basically, right now, with like the level of content that I've been posting. But I also like to do big narrative things, and UMAD is like more like just battles and things like that. So he's able to get those out really quickly, which is great for him and helps him like get what he needs out of his channel. And for me, it's like a development diary, or like a place where like when I want to do like a creative project, like that's what I'm gonna put onto my channel. Or if I want to put like meta videos and stuff to help people like get into Silmarillion and to play, that's what I do with my channel. And 4.1 6K. I think I've been getting a few subscribers every now and again, and that's great. And I imagine that will just continue for a little while. Like, I have a few battles. I got this one on top of that. I will be able to post some battles, but for me, I think that we want different things. So like, I don't worry about it. That being said, I guess now is a good time to mention I do have a Patreon channel. So if you guys want to support the channel, you want to support like the content that I do, then that's an option. I will link it to you in chat, but it's always in the description of my videos as well. I constantly forget that I have it because I don't think I have any patrons right now, but oops, caps. Yeah, that's the caps are definitely unintentional there. But yeah, so that's the thing that I do. I do stream from time to time, and this is just fun for me, so I like doing it. That's basically the end all be all for me is, am I having fun? Am I enjoying it? And I like being able to share that with people who are similarly minded. So thank you guys for watching. I will definitely be back with some videos over the next couple of days. Like, I have, what day is it today? It's Thursday. I have between now and Monday when I go back to work, because things are starting to open up again here. So I will have plenty of time to create content and to do all kinds of stuff. Some of it will be shorter form. It will just be like battle replays. And some of it will be some longer form stuff. I do actually, Jervis sent me a really nice Reforged battle, so I'll be covering that, and we'll be doing a narrative for that. And I'll be covering this game as just like the one you just watched, as just for fun. And I can like go through it and like point out some of the more critical stuff, because you saw everything from my perspective and like the fronts that I was engaged in. But there's like a whole other story. There's 2 other like players on the other side. So yeah, that's pretty well it for me for today. It's still raining outside, so I'll just probably get started on doing some content right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you join me for everything else that happens next. Bye now.